Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. That's a big name. So we call them IFWTWA. So I encourage you to go to their website, IFWTWA.org. If you are in the travel industry, tourism industry, if you're a destination, travel writer, photographer, blogger, you name it, it's an amazing organization. And we really love to do these shows because we get to chat about destinations and we get to chat with travel writers. And today we're going to go to Greenville, South Carolina. It's a good name. And I know Nancy and I have driven through there, and we obviously, now that I've gone on their website, which is visit greenvillesc.com, like we really should have stopped and stayed. So welcome to the show. Taryn, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I can't believe you didn't stop. You know, we hear that so
We're
often.
stupid.
We hear a lot of people say, I was
that.
driving by on my way either from Charlotte to Atlanta or vice versa, because we are right on that kind of I-85 corridor. But I always tell people, oh my goodness, next time you have to stop. You just won't believe it, you know?
Yeah, it is true. It is that exact corridor, because I know we go to Peachtree City outside of Atlanta a lot. We're in Asheville. In fact, we're recording right now from Asheville, North Carolina. And, we've done a little bit of South Carolina, and I have to tell you, I love the Carolinas, North and South. I'm amazed at the natural beauty. The history is diverse and rich. There's just something for everyone. And can I just say the food and the friendliness? Can't mess with the Southern hospitality being like the top, right? You guys got it going on.
You know, I moved down here from the Northeast, and I think one of the things that I love most, especially about South Carolina, is exactly what you said. You know, you can be on the coast and on the beaches in a matter of the morning, and in the afternoon, you're in the mountains and you're getting full fall foliage in a couple of weeks here. And it's just amazing to have such different landscapes and opportunities within the same state. And I mean, even where you are, you could probably on a clear day look down the mountain and see us from Asheville. You know, everything close by and very drivable and easy to get to, which is really awesome.
Well, I know our friends up in North Carolina, they're like, we go to South Carolina for this. And then South Carolina friends are like, we go up here, you know, so it seems like and even Georgia, right? Do you get a lot of visitors from Georgia and Tennessee?
Oh, yeah. That's the great thing. I mean, if you put us on the map and you drew kind of that 3-4 hour radius, you got countless cities and so many different things to do within that region. And so same coming into us, same thing. You know, we're such an easy driving distance from so many bigger and smaller cities in this area that it makes for a really great day or weekend getaway, or, you know, longer if you choose.
And everyone, again, if you go to visit greenvillesc.com, and you go to the About Greenville section, you'll see exactly that map that Taryn is talking about. I mean, you're not far from Jacksonville. See, I love that. This is actually one of my favorite drives because we go to Maryland all the time too. And so like we've done the Maryland down to Fort Lauderdale drive quite a bit. We've done the Atlanta. Yeah, you are right. And that's a very smart map. By the way,
we are right there. I mean, you can easily reroute any trip and end up right in Greenville. It's kind of a great spot. And, you know, you feel like you're in a fairy tale sometimes when you're here. The downtown is just such a walkable place that, you know, even if you are on a road trip, you don't need your car once you get here. You can literally leave your car at the hotel, or you can fly in and not need one at all and walk just about everywhere that you want downtown. We have a great bike trail system that connects our downtown to a couple of the other smaller towns. And so even that, you can just rent a bike and get out on the trail and go for as many as 22 miles and have that kind of accessibility where you don't feel like you have to get in the car to do everything here.
Has Greenville I know that we had a travel writer friend that went there, and I think we've even published some stories, and I didn't know this. I was driving by like, get on, you know what? And this is the thing. I love big interstates because they get you from A to B fast, but they really suck if you don't get off. Like you need to get off the highway when you see
That's the
signs.
thing about Greenville, right? Like you won't drive.
Yeah.
It's not like Roanoke. You don't drive right through, or Richmond. I'm sorry, not Roanoke. Richmond, Virginia. No, that's my husband's favorite city that he's never been to because we always drive by it when we're driving up north. But with Greenville, you couldn't see it from the road. So you're not so inclined to just say, oh, what's that? Let's go there. You have to get onto the smaller, kind of interstate in order to access it. But you do pass on the way BMW, the international manufacturing headquarters of BMW is right outside of Greenville. I know people are fascinated by this. It is the largest manufacturing facility in the world. They produce more cars here than they do over in Europe. And
I have been there.
Yeah, you
actually,
can tour.
This is weird. There's a wildlife refuge out near there, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You can actually tour the facility. You can actually see how the cars are made, which is so cool to actually, if you've never seen that, the line at work before, it's fascinating. And then they actually have a performance center there too, where you can go out and you can go on the wet dry track and on a time track and actually drive the cars the way that they're supposed to be or that they're built to be driven. And you actually experience why it's called the ultimate driving machine, because you don't really get to drive like that on the interstate. So it's a really cool experience and something that, that a lot of people don't realize is right here.
I know. And you guys have a lot of green space around you too. That's something when you talk about the cycling. Yeah.
That's what we're doing in Greenville. The treetop canopies were a really important part of our downtown revitalization project that took place in the 70s and the 80s. And our Main Street, where now I'm telling you, you don't need a car and it's totally walkable. Back then, it was a 4-lane highway. And when they decided to transform Main Street and make it a really pedestrian friendly city, one of the biggest projects was putting in all of this massive tree canopy. And one of my favorite parts about Greenville, if you visit in September, you visit in June, of course you visit at the holiday season, the lights in the trees are always lit. So we have twinkling lights, 300.
You have twinkling lights? Oh, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in. Just really for that. I'm like weird about it.
It is very, very something out of a storybook, and it's just, it gives that charming feel to it. But it's just so green and so beautiful. We have tons of parks in the area and a lot of state parks within very easy driving distance. But even right in the middle of our beautiful Main Street, right downtown Greenville, you're walking down and you're at some of our James Beard nominated restaurants and shops. And then all of a sudden you've got a 32-acre park right there in the middle of Main Street with natural waterfalls and a beautiful bridge that's a pedestrian only bridge that you can cross over and take all of your perfect Instagram photos in front of. So it's the parks and the green spaces here are a really important part of our destination.
Well, I'm also looking so you have an international airport. That's a big deal.
We do. Yeah.
And you have transportation services. You have a trolley. It's so sustainability's got to be part of that for you guys as a city.
Yeah. Getting here is really easy. And we encourage people, again, once they're here, you don't need your car. You can really walk or bike everywhere, or you can hop on the free trolley. It runs every weekend. And then we have a Class A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And so whenever they're in season on every game night, the trolley is running to provide transportation so people don't have to worry about parking downtown.
And who doesn't want to get on a trolley and go ding, 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 goes the trolley?
Exactly.
Come on. You want to, and then you have electric bikes.
You can't get on the trolley and not do that.
And bikes, you have electric bikes, you have limos. You have all of that, and by the way, the website is so cool to go onto because it really lets you, it's everything is there.
Yeah, so, you can really kind of choose your own adventure depending on what you're into. That's the thing we talk about a lot with Greenville. People are like, well, what are you known for? And my answer is sort of always, well, we're not really known for one thing. Like, what do you like? Yeah. Do you like the outdoors? Do you like food? Do you like arts and culture? Like, what do you want? And I can give you.
Okay. I want to go about food right now because I'm on the food section. I'm only at going on the alphabetical list, right? Oh, wait a minute. There's a Nosedive restaurant. Yeah. And then there's the Biscuit Head. What? Like now we're talking Southern food and then Bobby's Barbecue. Come on. Bourbon Street at the Hampton. Wait, like 1,384 restaurants. Am I reading this straight?
That is absolutely
correct. I'm only at the A and B.
I I keep a Post-it note on my desk and constantly am trying to keep up with the new restaurants that are opening and make sure that I visited my favorite ones. And I mean, I've lived here 17 years and I still haven't made it to all of them, but the food here is incredible. I mean, that is probably the most fun part about my job, is getting to eat out at all these restaurants all the time, because it's just, there is no shortage, and you never need to repeat a restaurant. You know, you certainly can, but you can constantly find somewhere interesting and different, and eateries from all over the world. And that's a great byproduct of BMW being here, is that we have people that have moved here literally from all over the world. And a lot of their family members have brought with them a piece of home and decided to open a restaurant here. And so we have a surprising food scene that represents everything from cuisine from Afghanistan to, I heard we just got an African restaurant and loads of South American eateries. And it's just a lot of fun to choose restaurants here. You can literally throw a dart at a map and then decide where to go based on where the door is.
And there's Better Than Sex, a dessert restaurant. I'm in.
Yes, that one is not the child friendly. That would not be the family friendly one. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's literally something for everyone's palate here, you know, depending on what you're looking for.
Are there foodie tours that can take you around? Like people that are there any kind of guided tours for?
There are so many great culinary tours here. So there's everything from literally just drinks, you know, cool cocktail tours, to dessert tours, barbecue tours. We've got a range of different tours, and they do a great job of incorporating the history of Greenville and just teaching you a little bit about the destination while you're doing them. And some of them are driving tours, some of them are walking tours. But that's my favorite way to see any city. That's the first thing when I personally am traveling that I look for. Because a lot of times if I'm in a city and I'm only there for a couple of days, I know my meal options are going to be limited. And with those tours, you can go to like 4 or 5 different restaurants in one night, as opposed to just committing to one. So I love seeing a city through a culinary tour.
And I like the Lazy Goat. I'm just looking at and by the way, it's over 200, and I got my things twirled around on the website because I got a little excited. I did do the nosedive into the website, and there's like so much to experience. That's why I'm going. It's over 1,200 things to do, like just on one search that I did. And I'm in the food thing, and no, now I'm into a whole other thing. Now wait. No, see, don't listen to my numbers, because I'm off, because I'm clicking on everything. I'm sorry, but it's pretty exciting what you have on this website. And then the hotels and lodging. Let's talk about that, because it looks like you have our regular branded hotels. So people, if they're going for business, do you have business groups that come? If you have an international airport, you have to. Yeah.
We have a lot of business travel here. We see a lot of sports tourism here. So we've hosted the NCAA tournament a handful of times. We bring like the Bassmaster Classic comes through Greenville every couple of years. But we definitely see a lot of larger groups come through. And so we have a lot of the hotel brands that you know and love and trust, like the Hampton Inn or the Courtyard by Marriott or the Hyatt. We also have the Poinsett Hotel, which is part of the Westin brand. But they are our most historic property right in the middle of Main Street. It's a building that dates back to the early 1900s. At one point, it was basically condemned, and then they decided to revive it and bring it back to life. And now it's a 4-star property right in the dead center of downtown. And right by Falls Park, what we just talked about, last year we opened a Grand Bohemian, which is part of the Kessler collection. It's a beautiful upscale lodge, very high end, very luxurious and beautiful. And we have a couple of B&Bs. We even have a hostel style. So really kind of depending on budget or preferences, we've got, something that everybody can find. And we have plenty of hotels sort of on that perimeter too. If you don't want to stay downtown, if you want to explore more of the whole area, we actually had a beautiful new destination hotel open this year called Hotel Hartness. That's about 12 minutes from downtown Greenville, but you feel like you're in an oasis in the middle of the woods with lakes and just beautiful nature trails and an incredible restaurant and spa on the property. So really just depending what you're looking for, we can fill a lot of those different needs.
Well, one thing I also noticed from the website, again, visit greenvillesc.com, just saying, because once you get on there, you're like, okay, I just want to go everywhere. But it seems that you're dog friendly. like as a
Very pet
community?
friendly. I think we like pets more than we like humans here, but particularly dogs. When you walk down Main Street, like almost every restaurant and shop, if you look down, you'll see they put out a little bowl of water for the dogs, and they'll give them little pup treats. And our Aloft Hotel actually has a partnership with the local Humane Society, and they will bring in a dog and have like, as a guest, you can take the pup out for a couple of hours and walk him and play with him. And he lives in the hotel until he gets adopted. And they have a really good adoption rate because you fall in love with the dogs. And so, yeah, we love our dogs here in Greenville. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, what about for kids, families? Nature, outdoors, yes. And then what about museums and things like that, where
there's so much.
the learning stuff?
Yeah, we have an amazing science center that has a planetarium. They're actually doing like a Taylor Swift light show right now that's sold out in like 5 minutes. So they try to make science cool, very, very relevant for 2023, I guess. We also have a children's museum that has a partnership with the Smithsonian. They're one of the few children's museums that has that. So they get some really great exhibits that come through there. It's a great children's museum. We actually have a theater group that is geared specifically for kids. So you can start introducing your kids to theater at a very young age. And they usually do 4 to 6 different productions a year, where the kids are encouraged to kind of, interact with what's going on the stage, and just kind of early exposure into the world of Broadway and other kind of performances like that. And we do bring in Broadway shows, and some of them, usually they bring in like one a year that's kid friendly. But we get about a dozen shows a year. We had Hamilton come through for a few weeks last year. We just had Wicked that came through. And it's fun because a lot of times you'll see the younger kids, the same kids that are going to the children's theater, as soon as they're old enough, they start going to the Broadway shows that are geared towards kids, which is really nice for those kids to be able to kind of have those cultural experiences at a younger age. But you see kids out on that bike trail. I mean, there are kids out there 3 years old riding their bikes right alongside professional cyclers. It's a very like novice friendly bike trail. You don't have to, it's not very strenuous, but it just goes out really far. And then it leads to some of the more strenuous trails, which is why some of the people who come in from all over the world to train here for cycling will be on that trail to kind of get to their next place, but they'll be right alongside little 3 and 4 year olds riding their bikes out there.
Wow. Yeah. I'm looking at people cycling everywhere. And one thing you have on your site under the things to do is free things. And I think for families, they're like, okay, we're going to spend money on food. We're going to spend money on some really, the lodging, et cetera, and getting there. So having a few things that are free is cool. And you see a lot of people biking like the Prisma Health Swamp Rabbit Trail system. I want to do that just because of the name. And you have Art in Public Places self-guided tour. We're all big about that. But the one thing you have is this Liberty Bridge. I want to talk about that. It's the first thing I saw on your website, and I'm just like, I need to go on the Liberty Bridge. Even though I'm scared of bridges, I'll go and do it because it's cool.
Yeah, and it definitely shakes when you walk on it. So it's a
Really?
suspension bridge.
Cool.
It is probably one of the most unique bridges you will ever see. It is a suspension bridge that's held up by a single cable. And it wraps around the waterfalls, the natural waterfalls that are located in Falls Park. And so if people say to me, what's the one photo, what's that one picture that you want to take in Greenville? It's of the Liberty Bridge. And
that's the IG place. Yeah, the IG hotspot.
Yeah. And it's absolutely beautiful. Sort of a must do. If you're in Greenville and you didn't go there, did you really go to Greenville? So that's one. And then the other thing that families really love is another kind of free scavenger hunt called the Mice on Main. And they are little bronze mice that are scattered all over Main Street.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at them now. They're so cute.
It's a fun way to kind of learn some Greenville history and get a little tour of downtown, and just kind of, you've got to look for them.
But there's brewmeisters too. There's a brewmeister. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little surprises all over Greenville. You just have to look for them. Yeah.
Oh, I'm disgusted at myself for not stopping, but I don't think you can just stop. I know you could stop and go have lunch or something and see the bridge, but I really feel like this is like one of those places. Yeah. You can't just do one thing unless you really, that's all you get, Yeah. But, honestly, so is the trolley really free?
The trolley is really free. Yeah.
No way. That means like your community invests into its community.
Yep. Yeah.
when you have things like that, that's
we even still
cool.
have free parking on Main Street. Granted, it's 2-hour parking, but if you can
No
find a
way.
spot, you have free parking on Main Street. Yeah.
Listen, that means I can have 2 beers and
Yep.
then not move my car.
Yep.
Somebody else will have to move it. But okay, can I ask about the public art? Because this is something we cover all the time. And we, during COVID, right? And people, talk about it. It's like, I always thought that was one thing you could do is public art and go see it with your family and do it like a treasure hunt, like you have with your mice, right? And I consider your mice public art. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're definitely part of it. I mean, we've got more than 100 pieces now. We have a Dale Chihuly sculpture right in Falls Park, and it's this beautiful, I call it like the pink rock candy, because that's basically what it looks like.
I'm looking at it because I do want to eat it. It's like a big,
But yeah, we have some magnificent public art pieces all over and they're all just walkable. You kind of get lost and remember to look up and look down, and there they are, and there's an app that you can kind of follow so you can see more information about each of the pieces. We have a lot of, statues that tell some of the history about Greenville, and tons of murals. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful city, and it's that way because of the art and kind of the upkeep of the city and the pride that people take in this place.
Well, I want to go to the seasons about visiting, right? Because we all know it can get warm in summer and stuff, but I want to know what it's like. I mean, do you have, and we'll go through each season, all 4 of them, but do you feel like you have like subtle seasons or like,
we definitely get 4 seasons here, which I was really surprised by. I kind of thought it was going to be 2 seasons, but it's a very brief fall and a very brief spring, but we have them. And my most pleasant surprise about the fall is that we do get spectacular foliage here. I mean, really vibrant, beautiful colors. We're at the base of the mountains, and so we kind of get their leftover, I guess. But we get it a little bit later than the higher elevations. So where you are today up in Asheville will start turning probably in about 3 weeks, if you're not already.
I'm seeing some right out my window right now.
Yeah.
It's a little early this year, I think.
It is very early this year. I've even noticed it, like just been on my drives, been noticing it in certain places. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is very early this year. But we usually peak here around the 3rd or 4th week in October, and get it for an extra week into November. So that's kind of our big season. And then in the spring, we have a very brief spring usually, but it's beautiful, very nice temperatures before we get kind of unbearably hot.
But you have pools and things like that.
And so many splash pads. You talk about things for the kids.
Splash pads and
so many splash pads.
Well, spring, like you have a botanical garden that I want to go to. Like we document that too. I'm all in. I'm into Greenville now. But botanical gardens, that's something that's got to be cool to go to when you have 4 seasons to see. I mean,
one of the coolest things I think about Greenville is because of the way that our growing season lasts. Even we have a farmer's market that goes on every Saturday, and it extends we start in May and it goes through that early November. And the growing season here lasts so long compared to other places that, we go from flowers into vegetables into, your winter root vegetables, and you can grow things here year round. And so we have a lot of different farms that you can go and do pick and just experiences that you can sometimes only have like 1 or 2 things. In other places, you can do like 10 or 12 different kinds of things depending on the season here.
Wow. You know what? Now I realize that I've actually been through Greenville before, more than like through a farming area. I was on some weird back road going through to Asheville, and it was sunset, and it was all this farmland. And it just dawned on me that that's where I was, because I remember the Greenville and going, well, we want to check this place out. And remember driving, and the sun was setting, and we were driving through all these farms, and we were on our way here. And of course we always do, we take weird back roads, and our GPS knows it and directs us that way. And I remember going, we need to do this. We need to come back. Look at all these farms, I think it was like about 3-4 years ago. And
I mean, that's my family. We go peach picking, we go blueberry picking.
Wow.
Apple picking is a little bit up closer to where you are outside of Greenville, but we do sunflowers. We have all kinds of flower farms now.
Ooh.
just
pumpkins for the
fall.
Oh
my goodness. I have the best pumpkin farm. I'm not going to tell you where it is though, because
my.
like they have like all the cool, weird varieties and colors.
Oh, cool.
But they get snapped up so quickly now.
The twisted ones. Yeah.
But yes, those are my favorite ones. And strawberries. I mean, literally you could find a U-pick in this area for just about anything.
Okay. So fall is cool. Spring, summer, we're getting the idea here. So summer, you want to do early mornings, late afternoon, evening for outdoors, midday, go to museums, art, that kind of thing. Flower power in spring. Now let's go to Christmas time because you mentioned twinkly lights. I'm all into
this. The fact that Hallmark hasn't come here yet to shoot a movie, I'm not sure. Like, PSA, if you're listening, come here. We are like, you don't even have to build a set. Like, we got you. It is just like Greenville looks like a fairy tale Christmas made for TV movie. It just, you've got the lights that I told you, are constantly twinkling. We've got, Santa goes up and down Main Street on a motorized sleigh. So he actually converted a 1993 Ford Aerostar into a giant sleigh that can hold 15 people.
What?
That goes up and down Main Street, giving people rides every night during the season. We have a mini Rockefeller Center, as we like to call it, literally right in the middle of Main Street, right next to the giant Christmas tree that we have in town that literally stands, 60 feet tall. It's something crazy. And we have, more than 36 area businesses that usually decorate Christmas trees for the Festival of Trees. And those are all in the different hotels downtown. So you can walk around and just check out all the different decorated trees. And we have markets that go on and all kinds of pop-up shops. And our Spring Hill Suites Residence Inn Hotel hosts a gingerbread exhibit every year. So so we have local professional chefs that compete, but then there's also an amateur competition and they all submit their creations and you can walk through and vote for your favorite throughout the holiday season. One of the things that I'm most excited about this year, we are introducing the ultimate Home Alone experience with the historic Westin Poinsett Hotel. And so if you're a fan of the movie, you're basically going to get to recreate all of the experiences that Kevin went through when he was in New York City by accident. So you'll literally get to have that giant ice cream sundae in bed from the Crazy Mason Milkshake Bar. And that'll be delivered straight to your room. And then you get a 2-hour limousine ride around town from Eastside Transportation while having a lovely cheese pizza from Sidewall Pizza and then taking a spin on our ice skating rink. And then you get to go shopping at our local toy store called O.P. Taylor's, which is known as the coolest store on the planet. So very much kind of recreating that literal picture perfect, movie perfect New York experience. We're doing it in Greenville this year, which I'm really excited about.
Oh my gosh. So this is like the ultimate. And then what about shopping for the holidays? That's got to be a big deal too.
We have such great local boutiques here that, if you're looking for toys, O.P. Taylor's is the place to go. The Mass General Store is exactly what the type, like everything that you never knew you needed, you can find in the Mass General Store. We've got great local boutiques for home decor. This place called We Took to the Woods actually opens twice a year, once in the summer and once at Christmas time, and they completely reconcept their store each time. And so when they open it at the holiday season, it's all kind of designed for winter and the holiday season feel. And each year it's kind of a little bit of a different theme that they go with. But it's just this beautiful destination store that's worth popping into every single time. We've got some local chocolatiers if you're looking for kind of more edible gifts to give, some great chocolate makers that make some great gift ideas. So yeah, you can definitely knock out all your Christmas shopping while you're here too.
Okay. I'm in. I'm just like, and you can eat and walk and tour and have fun in between all of it. To me, like I'm one of these people kind of anti the Black Friday movement, right? I feel like when fall hits, right, that we should just start going out, enjoying the fall colors, no matter where you are, and just start to chill out, put a sweater on, have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate in between, maybe some cider, go shop a little, maybe watch a movie, go have dinner, shop a little bit more, maybe have some wine or a brewski, and then shop a little bit more, just be slow and really enjoy the downtown life. you know,
I mean, that's
and
exactly
find the places that are off the main drag, right? As well, those unique spots, and enjoy it without the craziness and sitting on your computer and doing it. I think it's great that you can do that because there's times when we all need to do it, right? And you can, but if you really just make it an experience as part of your travels, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, what a great story to tell somebody like, oh, I got this for you when I was in, in this place. And it just feels more special that way,
Hey, and it's good marketing for Greenville, so do it. So that's what I say. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I mean, and marketing wise, I'm looking at this. You guys have got so many write-ups, and New York Times have listed you like one of the top 52 places. Yeah, to go.
We're one of the 52 places to go.
Southern Living. Yeah. I mean, you got the next great foodie cities from Food and Wine. Yeah, you're kicking some butt. You've definitely got attention for a real deal, right? It's happening. How does Greenville feel about that? Like in regards to tourism within the community?
I mean,
it seems like it's quality of life, which is pretty
that's
much
the thing. That's exactly right. For the people who live here, we're getting world-class restaurants and Broadway shows and, shops and boutiques. I mean, you never have to leave. We're seeing people come in to visit our city from all over the world now, which wasn't happening 10 years ago, because they're hearing about what a great place it is to visit and to eat and to experience and visit our museums that literally have some of the largest world-class art collections in the world as well. And that's you continue to get those things because people are visiting and they're bringing more money into the destination. And so, we could just continue to grow and thrive as a result of it. So it's a huge win.
Oh, I love that you said that because we always say that responsible tourism doesn't happen if the community is not part of it.
Yeah.
And it's a two-way street, right? Absolutely. And I just think and that's how people go, hey, I really love this place. I'm going to move there, but there has to have that plan. That has to have that quality of life is what people want to experience. And when they're on vacation, they feel good in a place. It's like, this feels good, and I swear to God, I'll never drive by again. And you know what? I know we're driving from Maryland to Tucson, and I keep saying, I think we're going to go down south and then around, because like there's some park, we travel for parks and public lands. One of our main things is we travel full time. And now I'm thinking we're going to have to drive through and make a stop off this fall, because you said you have fall colors. So I'm going to have to do this now.
Yes.
And see what we can do. It's all your fault,
Yes.
And if there's a big
noise,
you to check
and just make sure. Just make sure there's no Clemson home game, because then the hotel rooms are
sold. That's right. That's right. Busy time, right? That's the thing, but that's so cool. And sports is part of quality of life,
Is. Absolutely.
I think that's part of it. I think cities that attract sports, there's a health focus in the community itself. And that brings about quality of life. There is parks normally have a running path, a walking path, the cycling like you talk about. I think that's what happens when sports get into a community.
Yep.
That it kind of elevates things. And it sounds like Greenville is awesome. Twinkly lights. Did you really say twinkly lights 365 days a year?
365, yeah.
You did.
You wouldn't know if you only visited in December, but if you come back in June, you'll see them. Yep.
I may have to move there just for that. Yeah. I mean, I travel full time, but when I hear twinkly lights, there's something that just goes, there's magic somewhere. I got to go. So everyone, visit Greenville, South Carolina is the place. It's visitgreenvillesc.com is the website. And social media, it seems like your hashtag is, that Greenville.
Yeah,
am I right on this?
Greenville, that's correct.
Yeah. Get it. Go there. Do it. I want to thank the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association for being our friend on these shows. And really, we get to go to all these destinations and then go, dang, we better not drive by and go there. And so we love that. And we're so glad you were on the show to talk about all these amazing things in Greenville. And there's obviously so much more. So thank you so much. It's been so good to have you on the show, Taryn.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
And everybody, go to the website, visit greenvillesc.com. And if you are in the tourism world, go to IFWTWA.org. But if you're not in the tourism world and just like to travel, follow the hashtag IFWTWA, because then you'll see travel writers posting destination pieces from all across the country and around the world. From Jordan to Greenville, South Carolina, you'll see it all. It is awesome. And keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thank you so much.